want to start today talking about something, or I want to talk today about something that I generally wouldn't talk about. This is almost maybe even going to seem like a kind of an odd subject, and for those of you that aren't Christians out there, probably will seem like an odd subject. That's just how that's going to be. I'm going to talk about the subject of The Devil Made Me Do It today on the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Monday, the 4th of October of 2021. Welcome to everyone who's here on Rumble, on the podcast, and on YouTube. Thank you for coming along today. Remember, Rumble is my preferred platform. If you're going to watch me, I would prefer you do it there, but I understand if you don't. The subject, as I say today, is The Devil Made Me Do It, and I'm going to go ahead and go through my notes really quickly so you can get some idea basically what I'm saying. It will be a surprising thing if I ever run out of subjects for my videos. The reason is simple. All I need to do is cast an ear in various directions, and I'll be sure to find something worth blabbing about. One morning, for example, I was listening to one of the local radio stations on which there's a fellow who claims to be a Christian. The announcer, the commentator, whatever you want to call him. He was talking with a fellow I assume owns some of the local movie theaters. I listened to his show in spite of the regular conversation he has with that fellow, not because of it. Doing so reminds me why I have zero interest in going to the theater most of the time. Aside from the fact that movie producers are more about reruns, ask your mom or dad, by which I mean to say you may see reruns, but you have to know that most of the stuff you see today, in fact, are reruns. But anyway, then original content. Most big screen content is either vapid or just plain evil in at least some degree. I don't recall whether it was a line from a movie or the statement of the talker, but it was "The devil made me do it." What I do remember is the nonchalant, almost non-caring, uncaring way in which the radio personality put the expression out there. You'll forgive me, but I have enough trouble being who I need to be without watching or otherwise paying mind, as it were, to such rubbish. They discussed horror movies, gratuitous violence and gore, movies extolling moral turpitude, and so many other things not worth wasting a moment of one's time on. Out of all their movies, probably the best was an old movie that they were showing as a special, that is White Christmas. Again, ask your mom or dad, or maybe better yet, your grandparents. I know it, but I know it as a thing that had been around for quite a while by the time I was old enough to really know better. If you've ever seen that movie, you'd know there was more good in it than bad. That said, enough of the stuff in it was bad enough to make it bittersweet to someone trying to keep away from questionable content. Pretty much everything else, even older movies, was stuff I would count not worth viewing. Apocalypse Now, the Friday the 13th series, various things. This is what they were talking about at this movie theater. You can try to argue that we haven't been on a downward slide. Hollywood, though, seems to be pushing just that movement. Forgive me, but I no more accept Hollywood made me do it than the devil made me do it. You can go along if you wish. You'll forgive me if I refuse to join you. And here's where I'm coming to. You are what could be termed a free agent. I am what could be termed a free agent. There are things that control various aspects of my existence. I say it again, you're not jumping to the moon unassisted because of gravity, if nothing else. You're never going to have the power in your legs to jump to the moon. It's just not going to happen. So there are things that you could argue take away from your freedom, sort of circumstances, if you will. And you can argue that there's a God, and I believe that there is, and that he makes it so that there are things that it's impossible for you to do, or at least downright unlikely that you'll ever accomplish. And I'll agree with that too. And I can argue that there's a devil, that there is a Satan, that there is an accuser, that there is a angel of light, if you will, who attempts to get us to move further away from God. I think that's probably true. What I will not countenance is the idea the devil made me do it. No, you made a choice to do a particular thing. And the thing you made the choice to do was either right or it was wrong, but it was you. It was on you. And you can argue that other people got in the middle of that, and I'm not going to try and get around or argue against that. Yeah, that's possible. But the point is you still had a choice. And I know sometimes that choice is horribly difficult. And I think that's on purpose, because I think we need to learn that sometimes that's how it's going to be. We're going to be asked to do things that are going to be hard, if nothing else. And then again, that's actually the sort of living out of the fact that that's going to be the case too, right? But my point is to say this. You can allow yourself to be pushed about by various winds and various doctrines, or you can choose for yourself whether or not you're going to do right. Whether you're going to do wrong, whether you're going to do right. You can make those choices, but you need to be aware of one thing above all others. You made that choice. And by the way, it's not a choice that you make and you can't reset yourself. My son likes a series of books, the Dogman books. And they're silly books, but I'll say one thing for the author of those books. I'll give him one very definite thing. He makes it very plain to people, you chart your course. He's got a character, a cat by the name of Petey. And Petey is always doing wrong things, right? He was. And his quote son, and we won't get into the details, you'll have to read the books if you want to know more than that, but is constantly telling him, you set expectations and then you live up to them. And the thing is, the dad tells the son this, and the son parrots it back to the dad, but the son doesn't parrot it back to the dad from a position of not understanding that it's true. And I want for you to be in that same place. I don't want you to parrot what I'm saying or what anybody else is saying. I want you to realize that you make choices, good and bad, and that you can rechart your course any moment of the day. Yes, you might scrape that iceberg on the way by. I don't know. I can't tell you for sure how that's going to work. But you, as I said recently on social media, I said, look, you have the right to recapture innocence. You have the right to recapture innocence. I'm not saying that you haven't seen anything bad or problematic, but I am saying that you have the right to choose to be innocent. To choose to wash the blood off your hands and become a person of innocence and of kindness. You have the right to do this. And it's for this reason I don't want to hear things like, the devil made me do it. No, the devil didn't make you do it. You chose what you chose, whatever that looks like. And if you don't believe that, I urge you to read the book of Job in the Bible, because you'll see what it looks like to plot your own course even when it seems like the entire world is working against you. You look at poor old Job, and I say poor old, but by the time he was done, everything was not just hunky-dory. It was better than it was when he started, right? And this is the point. This is your right, your ability is to decide, am I going to do right or am I going to do wrong? Now, my suggestion to you, find out what is right, find out what is good, and do it. The devil made me do it, not a thing for me. Not a thing for me. I know that I'm guilty. I know that I've done things wrong. And that's something that I have to ask others, and I have to ask God forgiveness for. And I have no illusion that I'm going to be able to say, well, somebody else. And I have no illusion that I'm stuck on a course, hellbound course as a result, on a bad course as a result. I just don't believe that. And I don't believe that you should either. I believe that you should ignore anyone who uses the expression, the devil made me do it, at least for the time that they're trying to use that as what they're trying to say. Okay, I need to go ahead and wrap up. This is the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt. Today is Monday, the 4th of October of 2021. That means tomorrow will be Tuesday, the 5th of October, 2021. We'll start getting into the week good and proper. Thank you for everyone who's been here on Rumble, on the podcast, and on YouTube. Remember that Rumble is my preferred platform. Remember that you can give me a boxing glove or a positive plus on Rumble. That's a positive feedback. Or you can give me a minus, which is a negative feedback on Rumble if you feel the need to do that. You can give me a thumbs up or a like on YouTube, or a thumbs down or a dislike. That's positive and negative feedbacks there. And anywhere that you have the ability to comment, you can comment, and I will do my best to read the comments and see what you have to say. As one of the fellows that I listen to periodically says, I do value the fact that you comment when you do, particularly if you're doing something that's pertinent to what I've said. Let's see, the subject for today has been The Devil Made Me Do It, and tomorrow we're going to talk about who really decides. I think that's an important thing, and it kind of goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about today. Hope you're having a good day today. I hope the start of the week is going well for you, and that you are doing well as a general thing, and hopefully we will see you on Tuesday's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This video was recorded on Monday, the 4th of October of 2021. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, or maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @kpschubert. That's @kpschubert. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S, .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.